Today I am working on the easiest little Christmas themed journal that you can imagine making. So I actually wasn't going to do a holiday themed journal video this year, but one of my children asked me to go thrifting with them last weekend to look for some jeans. And I was like, well, okay, sure, let's go. We did, and I found something really cool. I saw this box and I saw the name Smead and I was like, ooh, vintage office supplies. What could they possibly be? And inside was these index card dividers, a whole bunch of them. And I thought, wow, this is really awesome. This is exactly the size that I love, my ideal size, 6 inches by 4 inches. And they've got the tabs on it, and this is just wonderful. So it gave me the idea that I could make a little journal out of these cards, and I will show you how. So yes, I did get it for $4.99, which is awesome. I'm going to do all kinds of things with these cards. If you don't have things like dividers, you can look for things like this. Maybe you have some sample pieces or extra pieces of card stock or cardboard. I don't even know what you want to call it. This is the perfect width of, say, cereal box material or any kind of food packaging. If you cut them all to the size that you want, you will also be able to make a journal like this. The other things that you need are, I have this masking tape, very ordinary masking tape. And what's great about it is it's the same color or just about the same color as these dividers. And I'm going to use the tape to put the pieces together. I also have my Christmas themed, holiday themed pattern paper. This one is My Mind's Eye, so this is from the Michael's Craft Store. And then I have some new ones from Tim Holtz. This is Christmas 2024. Just a little pack of paper. And then lastly, what you need are your holiday scraps, things that you want to decorate. I happen to have this folder, and in the folder I just have a bunch of things, just tags or wrapping paper or holiday cards or whatever. So this stuff I want to use in a little journal. Now, what you do is you take the first two, A, B, and they are going to be connected with tape. And it doesn't need to be neat, doesn't need to be, you know, at a very specific width. You could do 2 pieces here and here. You could do one long one. I'm just gonna do one long one. Let's see what's a good length here. Okay. Do it halfway, like this. And now I'm going to line these two up. Now your options are, you can line them up very tightly close together, just like this, or separate them just the tiniest bit. And that's what I think I'm going to do, because once I start to layer papers, it's going to get thick. And if I have the seam really tight together, it's going to spread just a tiny little bit. So if the seam is separated a little bit more, then the book will close, you know, vertically. So I'm going to leave a tiny bit of space. It's up to you how much you want to, what you want to do. This is even less than 1 millimeter, so that's just enough for me, I think. Okay, so this is A and B. So what you do is you set that aside, and then you do the same thing for the next two, C and D. So I will go through the whole set and I will do everything in pairs of 2 first, okay? So I will put these over here and then go to the next 2. Okay, next, now that I have these taped together in sets of 2, now I'm going to take my sets of 2 and I'm going to bind these together. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because these are now the same height. These are 2 dividers thick, and this is 2 dividers thick, and so therefore the height on these is equal. And it's easier to match them up when the height is equal. So I'm just going to go with one side like this, and then just match them up as best I can, leaving a tiny, tiny little gap. Okay. That. So now I have those, and I'm going to do 2 more. And so now I have 4 cards and 4 cards, and I can do the same thing here. You can line them up just like this and then tape them together. So you see how I am building up this book by creating these hinges on these pages. Now here's what I have so far. You can see that the spine is a lot thicker than the front, but that's okay because as I add layers of pages and papers, this is going to get a lot more bulky. Now next, what I want to do is, before I cover this spine binding over, I am going to use a piece of cloth, by the way, to go over. But before I do that, I want to work a little bit on the covers, front and back, just so those covers are complete before I add on the material onto here. So what do I want to do for covers? So I've got my stacks of little pattern paper here. I can pick any one of these. There's some really nice things in here. I think I like this red. So I am going to, oh, this is exactly 6, the same height, 6 inches tall, but I want to cut it down just a little bit. It's a little too tall. Now for this, I am going to need my cutting mat because I want to know precisely that I'm cutting the right size. And I will take off a little bit of this edge here. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, let's see. How is that? That's nice. So let me do the same on the back side. So now however you want to attach your page, or I'm just going to use double-sided tape because it's quick. But you can use glue, whatever you have on hand. All right. Front and back. Now, what kind of fabric should I choose? I'm going to go with the snowflakes, so now I just need to cut it down. I don't have the scissors, the pinking shears, to do this kind of up-down pattern, so I think I am going to keep that for the front, but for the back I'll have to go straight, which is fine, that's fine. So I am going to put a little bit of double-sided tape here, and then I'm also going to use wet glue. So I also have this art glitter glue. This is a wet glue. You can also use Eileen's tacky glue. Something like this would also work. I'll check the back to make sure that it's covering what I want it to cover. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and now I'm also going to add some glue to the spine. and then along the edge, the tiny edge of the fabric. Okay. Okay, and then my pieces, I can do, you can use some glue or double-sided tape or whatever you have. Guess I'll just use glue on these as well, since I'm already right here with the glue, the wet glue. Before I press everything down, I'm going to make sure that I've got the placement where I want it. See, actually, I think this one goes underneath, over here. And then this one goes here like this. Okay. Use up all the real estate that I have on this page. I want the cozy little living room scene to be showing up at the top, and bedroom slippers over here, and my sincere wishes down here. Alright, so I'm ready to start collaging on the inside. So there's two ways that I can approach doing this. The first way is to take some pattern paper, beautiful pattern paper, and choose it for my backgrounds. I could do a piece like this, and then maybe something like this over here, right? And then I could add pieces on top that, you know, as I go along. Something like that, right? The second approach is to choose your focal points first. Say, for example, that I want this to be a focal point, and I want to choose a background that is going to go with this. And maybe it's not even a pattern paper. Maybe it's just something like a book page, for example, right? So that is interesting like that. You can, you know, take a small piece of pattern paper, perhaps, and just add on the pieces that you want to your collage. So I have some things that I want to definitely use. I bought these pieces from vintageornaments.com several years ago, and I never used them because I accidentally bought them with glitter. And I think they also had these figures, these Santa Claus figures with no glitter, and that's the ones I wanted. But I didn't want to deal with the fuss of the glitter, so I never used them. But anyway, I think it's time to pull them out. I think it's time to use them. There's some nice ones in here. So they're all in a vintage style. Okay, so I want to use this for sure. So I need a very neutral background, and I found this one that I want to use here. So I want to choose one of these figures. I like the blue or the purple, kind of the non-traditional, even this green and kind of mustard color. Very interesting characters. So those might be good. And then for the other side, I have these. A bunch of these little pieces. I don't know quite how I want to put them down yet, but I like these little pieces as a little focal. And I think I will use just ordinary book page underneath. If I do something like a pattern paper, it's just going to be a lot. Let me show you. Well, actually, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. I could do that. Let's see again. What does it look like with ordinary book page? Well, you can see the difference is that these pieces stand out in contrast a whole lot more than if you would be using this. So it's all personal preference. I think I'll go with book page, and I will go for this one here. And then I will choose one of my figures for this side. So this one I already put double-sided tape on, so I can go ahead and place this one. And then for this one, I do need to use double-sided tape. And then, see, this is gonna go like this. So that should be about right there. Okay. Okay. And then now this one, let's see, which character, which person is going to look the best here? This has a little bit of this red that matches this and this. So that is telling me, that is giving me the sign that I should use this guy. So I'm going to put that there. Is there anything else that I want to add to this page before I glue that down? Okay, there we go. And then this guy will go here. Okay, looks good. I'm going to use wet glue for this because this is kind of almost embossed, and I want to make sure that I get the little areas in there. All right, so those two pages are done. Let me do one more spread. So I found this Christmas card or holiday card, Season's Greetings and Warm Wishes for a Happy New Year. I love it. It's totally vintage. Love that. So I'm going to cut it right down here. And then for the top and bottom, I have these kind of green pieces like this. Okay, so I have already my double-sided tape all set. Let me make sure that I have the correct, actually I think this one goes on the bottom. Let me do this first. Okay. Okay, and then this one. It doesn't matter which way, it doesn't matter. Just put it like this. Okay, and now I'm going to cut this down. So I think I'm going to keep it so that I can open it. I might even collage more inside, but I just want to make sure that I am 4 inches across. So let me move this out of the way. Can I do 4 inches? Let's see, that looks about right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to cut off the words, but it might end up automatically cutting off the words without me without me trying to, so I'll just do the best I can here. And cut it here. Okay, back to my book. Look how cute that looks. It almost looks like a tablecloth. Okay, so let me put this on. Okay. Okay. Yes, that fits fine. And then later on I can go in and see about adding some more things to that page, but I'm not going to worry about that now. Okay, and then for this side, I have this pretty paper. This is also Tim Holtz. It's actually the back side of this. And I'm going to put this here. This is a very busy design, but the pieces that I've chosen are going to be this and this little recipe for Christmas plum pudding right here like this. Super, super cute. All right, so here I've got 4 pages done, and I can already see that it's going to really bulk up. I've got a lot more pages to go. I'm not going to put pressure on myself even to finish it this year. It could be that I do as many as I feel like I want to do, and then I put it away, and then I pull it out next year. I like the idea of having something to go back to whenever I feel like it. So there we go. And I did find this old postcard. I think I'm going to put this at the very end because it says Happy New Year. So that's kind of a cool way to end my little project. And there you have it. So remember, you can use ordinary materials that you have at home. If you don't have something like these dividers, you can use cardboard or food packaging cardboard, things like that. Last year I did a holiday journal with tab binding, which also doesn't require any kind of sewing. So if you would like to check that out, here it is here. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you the next time.